All right, everyone, this is the video that all of my returning volunteers have been waiting for. This is when I provide information about what is changing from last year to this year. So new volunteers, you can leave if you want, or if you're curious, you can continue. But my returning volunteers, please continue to watch because I'm going to be highlighting some changes. So, first of all, I want to thank you guys for returning. I never assume that you'll return. I never assume that God is going to continue to call you into my program. But I'm grateful to have you come back. You guys are truly the foundation, and you really help to norm how we behave in the program to all of our new volunteers. And you model friendship, and you model wonderful holiness and rootedness in prayer. So thank you guys again. So one of the big changes for this year is I've developed some structure around our substitute program. And I'm excited to launch substitutes that are going to be more equipped and actually more accessible than we've ever been able to provide substitutes in the past. So for our substitute program, for the 4:30 and the 6:30, we will have 3 or 4 subs. One sub in each time. They will be focused on the littles. That means our sprouts, kinder, and first grade. There will be one substitute for those 3. We will also have a sub for our sacramental years, for our year 1 and year 2. And I might try to get 2 subs, one explicitly for year 1, one for year 2 explicitly if I can. But right now I'm just going for bare minimum 1 person. So this person will be there to cover and provide backup for the year 1 and year 2 teachers if they have an absence. The third volunteer is going to be for our older kids, and they will also provide kind of extra coverage for year 1, year 2 as well. But for our 4th and 5th grader confirmed kids, we'll have a substitute for them. So for subs in our year 1 and year 2 program, we, as you know, we have a set calendar for year 1 and year 2. So if we have a substitute come in, it means they are going to have to teach that lesson, the exact lesson that was planned. We can't get off calendar. So in order to do this, I am going to be creating overview videos of each lesson that will come out on a Saturday. It'll go to both teachers and assistants and subs. So you guys are going to benefit from this as well. So you will be able to get like a 10 to 15 minute overview of what you're going to encounter in the lesson. I'm going to point out if there's maybe activities that I would change up if it were me. You're going to be able to anticipate kind of the materials that you're going to need to prepare, and you'll also be honed in on the lesson objective that you're going to be really teaching toward. That's the most important thing as you teach, is you need to make sure you're hitting those lesson objectives, the goals for each lesson. So that's going to be what we use to support our subs in the year 1 and the year 2. For our catechetical years, this has always been the difficulty with bringing in a sub. You all in the catechetical years can set your own calendar. So how do I prepare and equip a sub to like step into your classroom? Well, the way we're going to do this is I'm developing lesson plans. I'm going to develop 3 lesson plans and then a 4th movie option if we actually, have that many absences in one class. And the lesson plans, you will be able to work with the sub to say, hey, I think I want to use this lesson plan while I'm when you're substituting for me. Or if you're sick, you can be like, I don't care what you teach. I'm like feeling very unwell right now. The subs will have the benefit of having those lesson plans in advance and being familiar with them, and thus able to come in and teach to something that they've seen and be able to like cover and view before. And the plans will be age reflecting the age group. So the littles plan will be written so that it will work for sprouts, kinder, and first generally. And then the olders plans will be more for the challenging, intelligences of 4th and 5th graders, kind of reflecting that they have greater awareness and greater intellectual capabilities. So the way we're going to help subs to integrate into your classrooms, whether you're teaching in the catechetical years or as a year 1, year 2 teacher, the subs are going to begin as shadowing, like in classrooms. So they'll kind of shadow in one classroom one week, another classroom another week. So they can familiarize themselves with the kids that are in your class. They'll familiarize themselves with your classroom management, and they'll start to also get to know you guys as well. So our subs are almost going to be like like little deans where they're going to have a greater hand and a greater touch with you all than I will. And so I want you to really see them as part of your team, and I want you to get to know them and to feel comfortable with them. So that's one big change for this coming year I'm very excited about is our sub program. And then I did mention another change for the upcoming year. As part of the sub program, I'm going to be doing those year 1 and year 2 lesson prep videos. Also very excited about that. As you watched these videos, you may have heard referenced that our adult education requirement is information. Well, it's not information anymore. We've done it a year, and we're going to have a solid calendar of the offerings. And what our adult ed requirement is that if a child is going through our program to prepare for sacraments, so if they're in the year 1 program, or if they're in the year 2 program, we expect parents are going to go through adult formation as well. If you have a kid going through year 1 or year 2, you're actually meeting the requirement by being a volunteer. If someone is going through RCIA while their kid is going through our program, their participation in RCIA meets the requirement. Otherwise, we want parents to pick one of the many offerings, scheduled in many different ways, sometimes during our classes, sometimes maybe a Saturday morning, sometimes a Thursday night. We want them to pick a program and complete that program. The programs are not meant to be catechetical, like heavily catechetical. They're actually meant to drive and provide a parent with an adult opportunity to encounter God as an adult, not as a parent of a kid, but as like a human that has gone into their adulthood. Because parents haven't always had a time to reflect on their relationship with God. They've been really busy raising kids. And we also want these classes to be an opportunity for them to encounter our community and to start to develop friendships, Catholic friendships. We saw that in a big way this past year. We have such good fruits. If a parent has concerns, like maybe dad is not supportive of the Catholic faith, I want them to come talk to me, because we don't ever make this known, but we just want one parent to complete the requirement. We really want the door to be open for both. So I'll never explicitly say just one parent is required, but I will tell those families to not stress, to make sure that they're going through and they're fine. And if their husband would respond well, or the mom would respond well to, hey, we got to get this done for the confirmation and first communion. And if that provides that parent with a chance to actually reflect on God and maybe encounter God, that's why we want to leave the door open, if that makes any sense at all. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. Something else this year that I'm going to try to start is doing in-class attendance using like a Google form, where you will just say, you'll see your list of kids and you'll say absent, not absent on that, and then you'll submit it. We're going to probably have some kind of a sign-in too, just to make sure a kid doesn't get lost or something. That's some of the benefit of having a clipboard system. But sign-in has been hard for me to always read, and attendance matters a lot for year 1 and year 2. Sometimes parents sign in on the wrong line and things like that. So I think having this double check for attendance, taking it digitally, is going to be really beneficial to me. So thank you in advance for helping me with that. Finally, last summer, many of you guys helped me to clean out our Faith Formation supply closet. We did a huge closet clean out again, and I cleaned out the Sprouts room. We're going to try to make the Sprouts room more accessible to multiple users, which will also mean that it's cleaner and getting cleaned during the week instead of the horrifying nightmare that you guys had to encounter. I'm going to get a more generalized neutral carpet with squares for the kids to sit on. We're going to get a few furnishings in there, but it's going to be more of like a multi-use space. We're going to have everything in the yellow craft closet for Sprouts. So that's something that happened for those of you who teach in the Sprouts program. I'm going to see if this clock interrupts me or not. Oh, my tired baby. My tired little Julia. I know. The other thing for everyone I did a second clean out of our Faith Formation supply closet. So this is the big double door closet. And I labeled everything with humongous labels on multiple sides so that they can't even get turned around. And these are some of the things that you can find in that closet. I'm gonna put a list together like an inventory. I'm gonna put an inventory together, but I greatly reduced like the amount of crayons that we were keeping, the amount of colored pencils we were keeping and markers. So it's a little bit usable. We have those supplies in your classrooms in the bin as usual. And I tried to just make it so that it's easier to get into the supply closet for craft supplies you actually might need and want to use. So when you open the closet doors, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I really thank all of you guys that helped get this started last summer, and Bernadette for all of the labeling that you did. I think, you know, we realized over the course of the year what we do use and what we don't use. And I tried to make it, you know, thin it out a little bit and that kind of thing. So I think that is everything that I wanted to cover with you guys in this video. Thank you again for returning. Thank you for all of the hard work that you do. It's so incredible, and it's such a sign of your faith and your trust in God, and your good humor that you come back. And I hope that you find a lot of spiritual support and nourishment through our program. And I will see you guys all in August when we do our volunteer orientation. So have a wonderful summer. I love you all. God bless you all. Thanks.